Want to have your clip featured in the Skyrim Clip of the Week? Simply record the clip on your Xbox and then send it to me via message. My gamertag is iRyanI, that's IRYENI, and then you can message it to me over Xbox and I'll be able to view it. I look forward to seeing the clips that you guys send me. Now moving on to the video. Hey, what's up guys, it's Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of Modded Monday. We're on week number 266 now, guys. I've picked out 5 new mods for you guys to check out, and perhaps add them to your load order if you find them interesting. But like always, before we jump into them, I want to remind you guys that I'm partnered with GamerSupps, which in my opinion is the best energy drink on the market, so if that sounds like something you're interested in, be sure to check out the link in the description where you can go to their store page, and you can also use the code RTD for a 10% discount on all your purchases. I also want to say, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any brand new mods each and every single week. Now that all that's out of the way, we can jump into this week's mods. And starting us off, we have a simple combat mod called Action-Based Projectiles. Now the mod page reads that this mod tweaks the speed of projectiles in the game so that you can actually dodge the enemy ranged attacks like any modern action combat game. The enemy projectiles in Skyrim, in the mod creator's opinion, are a bit too fast. You cannot dodge or block them by reaction time, all you can do is sidestep and juke the enemies to miss. While in most modern action combat games, enemy range attacks can be dodged, which rewards skillful gameplay instead of a stat check. Action-Based Projectiles, or ABP, is inspired by SGC dodgeable arrows, spells, and shouts, but with this, the mod creator tweaked it to fit their playstyle more. They tested several numbers, and the results within this mod are the best fit for the mod creator, but you can change them if you prefer different speeds. Now the projectile speed changes that are actually featured within this mod, we have different fire, frost, and shock spell projectiles, which have been changed from around 2,000 to about 1,000, so they're a lot slower. Same with the spider spit, the Kara spit, the dwarven spider shock bolts, the dwarven spear bolts, which has been changed from 3,600 to 2,500. The Reichling spear has been changed to 1,500, Ash Spawn projectiles, Ash Guardian projectiles, Seeker projectiles, and even dragon shouts. And of course you have all arrows and bolts, which have a different gravity as well as a speed whenever you're shooting them. Now it is important to note that not only is this enemy based so that enemies firing stuff at you will be slower, but your firing back at enemies will also be slower, as you can see in this little showcase I'm doing here. So it is going to take a little bit of an adjustment to actually get your aiming right again, because I know I've been using mods that completely change the speed and make it a lot faster so that you can be more accurate. But if you have a lot of difficulty enhancing mods that makes it so 1 or 2 arrows will actually kill your character, then maybe this mod is a better option for you, because you'll be able to dodge out of the way of attacks instead of having unfair deaths, because there really is no reaction time whenever it comes to arrows and spells. Especially those ice spike spells that the mages get. I know whenever I'm playing through on expert or master and I come across a mage that's using ice spike, it's really difficult to get out of the way of them, and then if you get hit by one it slows you down, so you just get hit by more and then you die. So it just makes the game a lot more challenging, but this mod might make it a little easier for you. So I know this mod is a bit more preference based, because you know, some people like it to be faster, some people want it to be slower. So if you're someone who wants the projectiles in the game to be a little bit slower and actually manageable and be able to dodge out of the way of them, then the Action-Based Projectiles mod is definitely a mod I'd recommend checking out, and that's why it's featured here at a number 5 spot. So I'd recommend downloading it and adding it to your load order as well. Coming in at the number 4 spot this week, we have a mod that brings new jewelry into the game that adds tons of new buffs to your character. This is the Elemental Vision of Skyrim mod. And the mod page reads that vision is a gift bestowed upon those who are recognized by the gods, and it's a magical focus that grants the user elemental abilities based on the element of their given vision. The Dragonborn and the people of Tamriel are blessed by the divines to wield these powerful artifacts. And each of these 7 elements that are added into the game grants unique and powerful buffs to the wielder. First you have Amino, which gives you a shout cooldown and movement speed buff. You have Cairo, which is a crit chance, and then you have Electro, which gives you melee attack speed and Magicka regen. That's definitely one of my favorites. And then you have Geo, which is damage resistance and fortified blocking, Hydro, which gives you better healing effectiveness, and Pyro, which gives you better attack damage. That's probably my second favorite because you can just totally obliterate your enemies in any bandit that you stumble across. Now you can only equip one of these vision jewelries at a time, and they're all craftable within the workstation. On the mod page it says it's craftable under the glass section, but it's actually featured under jewelry, at least that's how it was in my game. And then you can craft tons of different ones. They all have the same exact enchantment, but they're featured outside of your armor and you can actually see them on your character. So there's a ton of different ones that have different colors and shapes to match whatever type of armor set that you have. So if you have like maybe elven armor that's a bright yellow, you can get the bright yellow jewelry there. Or if you have darker armor like me, you can get the silver one or the darker one, and it will just match any type of armor that you have on your character based on the one that you craft. And as of right now, they're basically just powerful enchanted jewelries, but they plan on updating this mod in the future and maybe adding more abilities and maybe more enchantments down the line. Now I really like the looks of these. I really love the fact that it's displayed on the outside of your character, right on your hip, so you always know which one you have equipped, and it's just a little type of, cosmetic that you can have outside of your armor, and you can craft whichever one to match whatever type of armor set you're wearing as well. And the abilities are absolutely insane. You have the melee attack speed, which makes you swing two-handed in any type of sword way faster, as you can see I'm showing you that right now. And then Pyro, the attack damage, just makes you completely obliterate your enemies, like I said. Amino with the movement speed, definitely very good for exploring, and it gives you a better shout cooldown as well, so you can be using whirlwind sprints. So if you're going to be doing a long journey and you're going to be traveling a long way, I would strongly recommend getting the shout cooldown and movement speed buff so that you can run across Skyrim way faster and definitely get your whirlwind sprint up. This is an all-around great addition to your character and gives you tons of new unique buffs, and that's definitely why this mod's featured here at a number 4 spot this week. So I'd strongly recommend downloading the Elemental Vision of Skyrim mod and buffing your character to the max. Coming in at the number 3 spot, we have a brand new beautiful player home that's very low in memory space and actually won Northward's vote for the most requested player home. This is the Clearspring Oasis mod. And the mod page reads that this underground oasis sits hidden underneath Whiterun and contains a cozy cabin that lies within a small lush cave. Its 3 entrances ensure quick access to the busy city above, allowing its new owner to come and go as they please, without needing to go far to find a place to lie their head. The Northward team brings you a brand new player home, one chosen directly by the community, a comfortable cabin which contains all of the amenities one might need should they choose a life of exile away from the bustling city above. And like I said, there are 3 entrances to the player home that can be found just west and east of the Whiterun City exterior walls, as well as an entrance hidden in the Dragonreach dungeon. There's a lock requirement to gain access to the oasis, but one must first loot the Clearspring key from the smuggler boss found in the Whiterun grotto, and then you can access the oasis and all of its features. And within these features of this brand new player home, there's a cabin that contains both an alchemy and scribe room, as well as an enchanting room. You also have a kitchen and a large mead basement, featuring a few display racks and armor mannequins. The oasis and cabin is nav-meshed and follower-friendly, and it has 3 beds in total throughout. And if you followed this series for a while, you know whenever it comes to player homes, I absolutely love player home mods in general, but I absolutely love it whenever it's just one cell and you can pretty much do everything that you need within your player home without having to go through a bunch of loading doors. And I really like how this mod pulls it off. It's very close to Whiterun, which is where I spend a lot of my time. Whiterun's one of my favorite cities in Skyrim, so I'm always trying to stay closer to there whenever I'm doing my adventures. So for those of us who are maybe having a thief playthrough or maybe an assassin playthrough, and you want to stay out of the reach of guards, Clearspring Oasis is a perfect little getaway hidden underneath Whiterun, and I absolutely love it. So if you like the looks of this player home, I'd strongly recommend downloading it and adding it to your next playthrough of Skyrim. That's definitely why this mod's featured here at a number 3 spot this week, so I'd recommend downloading and becoming the proud new owner of Clearspring Oasis. Coming in at the number 2 spot this week, we have a brand new music mod called Celtic Alchemy, a Celtic music mod. And it seems like within these past few weeks, we've been getting tons of new tracks to listen to throughout Skyrim, because last week we covered a music mod and now we have another one this week. There's tons of new tracks to listen to here. Now this mod was made by the same mod author behind Fallout 4's popular music mod called Radium. Now he made Celtic Alchemy for Skyrim. And this mod features 18 original Celtic themed pieces, as well as 17 palette tracks to the exploration and tavern playlists. And it's also important to note that all of this music is DMCA free and available for use for all content creators, which is amazing to hear because I can actually showcase a lot of the music within this little showcase here without having to worry about the video getting taken down. But without further delay, let's jump into these brand new amazing tracks that have been added to Skyrim that you can hear all throughout your game. Now I'm a really big fan of how this music sounds. I think they got the theme just right, and depending on what type of character you have and load order you're building, this mod might be perfect to add to your character because although we love Jeremy Soul's work, we've been playing the game for almost a decade now, and the fact that it doesn't get old, but it would be nice to hear some other tracks every once in a while. So if you're looking for a brand new mod that doesn't replace the original music, it just simply adds more music to listen to as you're exploring Skyrim, then the Celtic Alchemy, a Celtic music mod, is definitely a mod I'd recommend checking out. So go download and experience these brand new music tracks for yourself. Coming in at the number 1 spot this week, we have a brand new all-in-one mod that adds over 300 new items to Skyrim. This is Bob's Armory All-in-One, and this is a direct upload of Mr. Dave's original Bob's Armory mod ported straight over to console. And like I said, there's 300 new items added into the game. This features weapons, armors, clothing, and more, and some of these items are added into leveled lists. All of these items can also be crafted at the tanning rack, forge, and cooking pot. And within this huge list of new things brought into Skyrim, we have the bronze ceremonial dagger and greatsword, a dragon claw dagger, a great maul, a new imperial mace, a Khajiit dagger. There's a new stormcloak mace, a bone sword, a ceremonial halberd, a chrono blade and shield, a jade dagger, a jeweled sword, a katana. Tons of new katanas actually. There's tons of different variants of different types of samurai swords and katanas brought within this mod. You also have a ruby dagger, vampire's hunter blade, and many, many more. That's just a very small segment of this huge list that's featured on the mod page here. I would say that most of the 300 items within this mod are brand new weapons that you can use, which is absolutely amazing, but there's tons of new things to wear as well, such as brand new hats. I know I saw a ton of different pirate hats and different types of, cloaks for your character I really liked. There's some new jewelry and crafting recipes as well, such as for creating the bows that you can get within this mod. You have to go to the tanning rack and create bowstrings, and it requires linen wraps to craft that. You also need rawhide straps, which requires deer hide or pelts, and this is an ingredient for shields that you can craft. Under the cooking pot, you have cheese glue, which is an ingredient for a shield as well, and it requires a cheese wheel to craft. So there's tons of new things that you can do and craft within this mod, and tons of new weapons to explore upon. 300 new items. And I'll try to showcase as many of the new items that I can within this short little showcase here, but it would be almost impossible to showcase all of these new items because there's just so many. Just under the steel category, you have like 50 or 60 new weapons, and that's just the steel category. You have new things under Iron, as well as Orcish, Elven, Daedric, Jewelry, Miscellaneous has a ton as well. I could go on and on talking about the new items added within this mod, so if you want me to make a separate video where I cover a little more in detail about the weapons and armors added within Bob's Armory, I'd like to do that, because this is an absolutely massive mod that brings so much to Skyrim, and I absolutely love it. So if you want to try out some of these new items for yourself, I would strongly recommend downloading Bob's Armory all-in-one mod and giving it a try for yourself. So that's pretty much it for this week's episode of the top 5 Skyrim mods of the week. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and if you did, I'd appreciate it if you left a like and subscribe if you're new. It really helps me out a lot. And if you have any suggestions for mods you'd like me to cover in future top 5 mod episodes, be sure to let me know in the comment section below, or you can join our Discord. I'll be sure to leave the Discord link in the description as well as the pinned comment so you can join us on there and leave mod suggestions there as well. Special shout out to my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys have done for me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys later.